Hey everyone, welcome to Pop XP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the Pop XP channel. Hey, what is going on YouTube? It's the brain of the mainframe here, Nile Scala with the Pop XP, and joining me for all the crowdfunding comics episodes is the most amazing Frank you're ever going to meet, Mr. Frank Amazing.
How's it going?
You bring so much energy, Frank. I love it. Like, hey everyone, how are you? Another week, man. We got another exciting episode of crowdfunding comics. 3 great creators on tonight. Really cool books that we enjoy, and we hope you all out there enjoy. Before we get into it, though, I do want to let everyone know that this stream is brought to you by STREAMYARD. That's a service that we use to bring all these great shows to you guys out there. So this is kind of the heart of the Pop XP network. So if you want to stream like a pro, STREAMYARD's the way to go. And a link is down below in the description of the show. So get into that and enjoy streaming.
Would you like to rhyme anymore?
I love rhyming. Rhyming's fun.
You did show, go, man.
Did I really? Isn't that great?
It's
off the top of my head, man. It's off the top of my head. I just feel it. It's like a vibration, you know. It just comes to me. But let's jump into it, Mr. Frank Amazing. Yeah. So tonight, everyone, I'd like to welcome our first guest, the first time guest to our show. Let's please welcome Madeleine Holly-Rosing. Madeleine, how are you?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, thanks for coming on. You have such an awesome book on Kickstarter, and it was actually Frank that brought it to my attention. And I'm like a huge paranormal guy. I actually have a series on on this network called Pop XP Paranormal, which I host with my good friend Howie Knoll. And when I saw this book, I was like, oh, this is really cool. This is like right up my alley. But before we dive into Boston Metaphysical Society, your series, I'd like to dive into getting to know you, your origin story, maybe even a book out there that you may have written on a topic that might be good for this show.
Maybe, yeah.
So give us a bit of your origin story.
Well, for those of your audience who are not familiar with Boston Metaphysical Society, the basic premise is about an ex-Pinkerton detective, a spirit photographer, and a genius scientist who battles supernatural forces in late 1800s Boston. We started with a 6-issue miniseries, which is now in trade paperback and was picked up by SourcePoint Press. And since then, we've had 3 sequels, and the 4th sequel is on Kickstarter right now. Emily Hugh was our original artist for the 6-issue miniseries, and then Gwen Tavares picked up the sequels, which she's doing an awesome job on.
Fantastic. And how did you get into writing comic books? Was it something you were always into growing up, or did it come later in life? I always love asking people because it's such a there's so many different variables that have brought people to this field.
Well, for me, it came very late in life. And even though my brother probably has one of the largest graded collections of Daredevil comics in the United States.
Awesome.
But yeah, I saw Frank's eyes go like that. Daredevil? Yeah. But I was never I always thought comics were just superhero comics. I had no idea that independent comics existed at all. So Boston Metaphysical was originally a TV pilot that I wrote when I was at UCLA MFA program in screenwriting. It did relatively well in competitions and was read. But, this was before steampunk and alternate history really hit mainstream. So it was suggested to me that I turn it into a graphic novel to use it as marketing material to sell back to TV and film. Well, in the process of learning to write a comic, I discovered that I loved writing comics. And in particular, I loved independent comics. And in fact, when I took my first sequential art class and I was given the syllabus to go read this stuff, I was kind of pissed off because it was great and no one had told me about it before. I mean, all I thought comics were superhero, and I didn't know. And so it was just an amazing journey for me into the independent creator community, which I absolutely love. And I'm so glad I'm a part of it. I'm glad I've made this transition. Even though I still do, I do prose. We're in a pre-production for an audio drama for Boston Metaphysical. There's all this other stuff going on, but where it all sprang from was that 6-issue miniseries, and everything is kind of grew from that.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. I honestly, I love like anything dealing with like paranormal, because it's such a great fictional aspect to it. Like you can go into so many different directions with it. You can bring in so many genres, ages, and I mean, but what's cool too is like, then there's like, if you're like me, who's also into like the real part of it, it's almost like, you can have a real world aspect of the topic, and you can have, this world. And I have to ask, is that something like the actual paranormal, ghosts, demons, cryptozoic creatures, things like that? Is any of that of any interest to you outside of the writing?
I have always loved reading paranormal and supernatural stuff. It's just been, for me, it's fun. Like I loved X-Files. In fact, I often refer to Boston Metaphysical as, before Mulder and Scully, there was Hunter and O'Sullivan. It's kind of like an X-Files in the 1890s, but without aliens. I won't do there won't be aliens in this. I promise you that. It's just not in the world building at all. I really enjoy those kinds of stories, and then to mix it up with alternate history and mystery. For me, it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So let's pull up the campaign and let's take a look at it. Because I mean, this campaign, you've got 6 days left. You had a goal of 4,200, which you crushed. You crushed the goal here on this campaign, and it looks amazing. The book looks great. We got a comment here. Nice. I have the Kickstarter up in another window, and the number just went up. Fantastic. Yeah. Anyone out there that if you're into the paranormal, if you're into steampunk, if you're into those type of books, supernatural stories, especially in graphic book, graphic novel form, floppy form. I mean, there's nothing better than seeing this amazing art, which I'm going to scroll through, and you guys are going to see how incredible these interiors are. You better hit that back, this project, right? There's a little green tab there. Just hit that. Let me show you. I'm going to show you. See my mouse here? See my mouse right there? Boom. Yeah. Just hit that right for me and share it on all your social media while we're chatting about this. But yeah, this is so cool. Let's take a look now. We're going to scroll down. You have a bunch of stretch goals. A lot of stuff's been unlocked. But I just want to start going into some of this art. So the cover's gorgeous. The cover is so cool. Yes. And it looks like, even with like your interiors, this is a period, right? This is a period piece. Yes, it's a period piece. But yes. I love how you're like I look like I feel like I'm looking through a glass right now, and I'm actually seeing that time period. The art is incredible in this. Yeah, Gwen has done an outstanding job, and she's also grown as an artist. This is, like I said, this is the 4th sequel that she's done. She started with The Scourge of the Mechanical Men, which featured Granville Woods and Tesla. And yeah, Bell, Edison, Houdini, and Tesla are part of the original 6-issue miniseries. Tesla's in 1 sequel, and then they go away. But Granville Woods, who's our African-American scientist, is a historical figure as well. He kind of got lost in American history, and I was very happy to find him and make him part of the team. So it's like you have like historical fiction in here, like using real people in fictional settings. Yes, that's incredible. Also, when I can make the science correct, I do. Sometimes I can't, just because of the story and what we're dealing with. I mean, this is fiction; it is science fiction. But yeah, whenever I can, and so it's kind of fun if you go through an issue, and if you're a chemist or a physicist or something, every once in a while you're going to run across something and goes like, that's right, and so that's always fun to do. So as a lot of people are watching this and they're seeing this, they're like, this looks really cool. I see that, we're backing for a certain issue. How do they get all the issues? How can they get the series? So we've got, a couple people have asked, is there a perk with all the issues? How can I get there's another comment. How can I get all the issues to catch up? Yes. There are 2 digital tiers. For those who have lack of space, like I do at home, that will give you the original 6-issue miniseries plus all of the sequels. That's the first digital tier. The super digital tier
gives you all of the graphic novels, including the Book of Demons, as well as the 2 prose sequels, the novel A Storm of Secrets and an anthology of short stories and novellas called Prelude. And for if you want physical copies, the tier that includes everything is called New to Boston. And that has physical copies of the trade paperback plus all of the current sequels, including Book of Demons and all the stretch goals. We've made 11 stretch goals. So people are getting prints and magnets and digital bundles and all sorts of fun stuff.
Awesome. Can you tell us a bit though about the story? So like anyone is completely new to this, they're backing this campaign now. They're going to get a tier, maybe they're going to go for New Boston here, right? Which is great.
Yeah.
You're getting all this stuff, $70. That is an awesome value with all the books that you have and all the stretch goals and all that. Tell us a bit about your characters, the stories. What can they get? What are they getting with this?
This story, Book of Demons, is standalone, but it is a continuation of the previous sequel, Ghost and Demons. And it features our medium and spirit photographer, Caitlin O'Sullivan, and the fact that she has developed an ability or learned about an ability to control demons. And certain people take exception to that. And she's kidnapped by a great house, which is the aristocracy in my universe, and forced to find and enslave a demon. But my demons are actually sentient. They're not, straight out of the hell mouth to destroy and do damage. They have their own subculture unto themselves. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. So it's not necessarily they're coming from the gates of hell. There's other means that they can be here. Well, that's great. I love it. Now I'm going through your campaign and it looks like, you've got different levels here. One thing that's pretty cool is you have a coloring book.
Yes. Alejandro Lee did the art for that. He did a great job. We came out with that last year. And actually the year before that, because last year was kind of a bust for everybody. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. That features, really all the scientists that are involved in the story, plus some of the ghosts and the demons and supporting characters.
So it's fun. So one of our admins, Heroin Burr, a good friend of ours and a good friend of my partner on this network, Billy Tucci, Stephen Peros, who's one of, he's a writing partner of Billy's as well, has a book, Stoker and Wells. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but
no, I'm not.
Hammer says it seems like the Metaphysical Society could easily run into Stoker and Wells crossover time. If you look up Stephen Peros, Stoker and Wells,
I will.
Do I have a
Absolutely.
copy of it?
It's probably in the
Speaking of what, I have it right here actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
No, I'll definitely look it up. Yeah.
And this is it gets cool because it kind of falls into, what like your stories and what you're doing, but obviously a little different. It's after Graham Stoker and H.G. Wells and stuff, but it's pretty cool. But yeah, no, I love it. And then you got the I love Plague Doctors. And if anyone knows that the book I'm working on, my lead character is a Plague Doctor of sorts. Cool. But you got the Plague Doctor pin. I mean, you got a whole set of pins here.
Yeah, we've gotten into the habit now of every Kickstarter we do a new pin, and I run a little contest on Facebook of whoever has an idea, and if it's the one I pick and we produce it, they get a free one. So a young lady did. She says, Plague Doctor. And I kind of went like, yeah, duh. I should have thought of that myself. That's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, you win. And I mean, she's already gotten her pin, but yeah, that picture actually doesn't do it justice. It actually looks better than that. But yeah, those are the current pins we have. And we used to have an owl pin. We don't anymore. So certain pins do get archived, so to speak. And then we just, like I said, we do a new one every year.
Oh, that's very cool. I like that. Now coming down here, do you have other books, like novel type books?
Yes. A Storm of Secrets is a prequel to the original graphic novel, the 6-issue miniseries. It starts about 5 years prior to that and deals with Samuel Hunter when just after he's married to Elizabeth Weldsmore Hunter. And that was I wanted to write her story, but it was, I don't want to give anything away, but if you've read the trade paperback, you kind of know that, well, something happens anyway. And Prelude, like I mentioned before, is a series of short stories and novellas that I actually started writing those when we were in production for the original 6 issues, because I wanted to write canon and develop canon. So that's kind of like how a lot of things happen. And The Underground is a short story that was part of another anthology, but it is a Boston metaphysical story with a young Caitlin O'Sullivan on a job with her father.
Oh, nice.
And there's Granville and Alma. Alma is a relatively new character. We met her in the second sequel called The Spirit of Rebellion. She's also a scientist. And this was the commission poster, which I believe is sold out now, where people could get drawn in. So, if you ever wanted to time travel, this is, you can pick your costume, your steampunk costume or period piece. And then Gwen will paint you into the picture. And I printed out on that, classic stipple paper that's just, it kind of has a texture to it. So it looks pretty cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, everything looks awesome, really, in this campaign. I mean, I love the art. I love the history. And speaking of the history, I mean, why Boston? That a couple people in here are talking about, why Boston? Are you from the area? Is the comic talk about the history of the city?
Not so much. The reason I picked Boston is because that's the place where the story really needed to be set. Because you have to understand, this is an American story. And when you say the name Boston to an American, it evokes a certain image. It's cultural, it's mythological. It means something to an American. And so that meant something to me. And also the way the city is built, it has narrow streets, it has, cobblestones. It's a very intimate setting, which is where this story needed to be. And since everything is so tightly pushed together, Beacon Hill, and I refer to Beacon Hill, that's where the great houses are for Boston. That's where the aristocracy lives. Around them is what I refer to as the middle district, which is the middle class. And then the outlying in South Boston is where the Irish, which is the lower class. And then there's a smaller neighborhood called Liberty Row, where the African Americans primarily live. And that was modeled on the middle-class neighborhoods that used to exist in New York prior to the Civil War.
Oh, very cool.
So this is, like I said, this is very much an American story. And like with any American story, women and people of color are part of it. So, I made sure that you just can't write, to me, you can't write an American story without having women and people of color, because guess what? We were part of history.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'll have to, like I said, it looks amazing. I mean, it looks amazing. The premise seems incredible. And really, anyone out there, if you're not familiar with it, if this is your first introduction to this series, for those that are watching live, those that are going to be that are watching this recorded in the future, future. Take advantage of that digital tier. Get all the books, or if you want a full physical copy, go for New to Boston. I mean, $70 gets you the whole set. And we already know she's an amazing writer. Okay, we know that. You can Google her, and she comes up, and very popular. Madeleine, she's a very popular series, and if you like this stuff, it really is good. It truly is. And the art is absolutely incredible. And we've talked so much about your campaign. We've talked so much about your background and everything. But one thing that many people here may not know is that you've done many Kickstarters. Is this your 9th?
This is my 9th Kickstarter, yes.
So this is your 9th Kickstarter, and you've actually even written on that.
Yes. After I think my 4th Kickstarter, I started to see that there was a lot of great projects out there that were doing the crash and burn on Kickstarter. And so I decided I wanted to write basically like a field guide for the independent creator. Now, this is what you're looking at as a second edition, which if people are interested, I suggest they get that. The first edition is still up just so you can read the reviews. Because, Amazon, if you take away one book, they take away all the reviews.
Yeah.
And I wanted people to be able to see that. But, what I tell people is to read the whole thing through. Just sit down and read it once, and then sit down and read it again and start taking notes that are particular to your project, because this is from, the ground up. Like if you don't have a fan base and, where do I find backers, and, developing an email list and pre-launch strategy and campaign strategy and fulfillment. So you can go through and check like, okay, I have what I need, for a fan base. Now what's my next step? And you can do it step by step by step. Anyone outside the comics field can use it as well, even though I do reference comics quite a bit, because the strategies for creatives are the same. It doesn't matter. You still have to do the same thing. You still have to have, an email list, build a fan base, and do the same kind of, strategies, cross promotion, all sorts of things. So yeah, it's good for any creative.
What's the most valuable piece of advice do you think you put into this book?
Is to build a fan base first before you launch. To have an email list of backers that you are 99% sure that these people on this email list are going to back you, and it's enough people that will get you to about 35% funded. Because if you can get 35% funded within the first couple days as a newbie, then that you can build on that, within Kickstarter by doing cross promotions. Because if you get 35% in the first few days, you're probably going to be at 50% within a week and a half. And then that can help drive you to the finish line. Oh, nice. But you do have to make sure that your budget is reasonable and rational. So when when a potential backer looks at it, they think, okay, this is a reasonable, for what she's doing or he's doing, this is a reasonable goal.
Excellent. Well, there you go. And a link for this, everyone, too. So all campaigns, the link for this book here is in the description for the show. So if anyone's interested in getting this book, please just click that Amazon link. Is there any other sites that they can get your books on that is there anywhere you prefer them to purchase your books from?
The Kickstarter book, Amazon, it's available on all ebook platforms, whatever you have, whether it be Kobo or Nook. So whatever is convenient. And then other than the Kickstarter for the comics, SourcePoint Press.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. So everyone, there you have it. Boston Metaphysical Society, the Book of Demons, 6 days to go on Kickstarter. So if it's your thing, make sure to click that back this project. And again, if it's tight this month, money's not there, please, as always, we say the best thing you can do is share a campaign. Share it on your Facebook, your Twitter, Instagram, whatever you're using. Or if you're a fellow streamer out there and you're looking for another great guest to have on your show, I'm sure you could reach out to Madeleine, and hopefully she'd be happy to come on. And Madeleine, how can everyone keep track of what you're doing? How can they get a hold of you?
BostonMetaphysicalSociety.com, or Twitter, Holly-Rosing, Facebook, Boston Metaphysical Society comic, any of those is good and will work.
Awesome. Well, Madeleine, thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate
Thank you so much for having me.
Please, next campaign you have, or any other books, actually, doesn't even have to be a campaign, and you want to come on and talk about it, please do. Again, this is really cool. I'm going to back this myself. I don't have any of your books, but again, Frank brought this to my attention. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Let's have her on. This would be great. So I will become a backer of this and, become a big fan of Boston Metaphysical Society.
Great. Thank you so much.
My paranormal show.
Yes. Yes.
That may happen
particularly for the audio drama. That's going to be on Kickstarter in the fall.
Ooh, awesome. Perfect. We'll do that. We'll definitely do that. All right, Madeleine, have yourself a great night, and thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
I love that stuff. You know me.
Yep.
That's so cool. I got to check, though. I got to see. I'm going to need physical and digital on this. I'm gonna need physical and digital.
I think, and you kind of hit it on the head when you talked to her before, which is when you look at all of her goals, her pledge levels, they are all very reasonable priced.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you are definitely getting a good value. You know, like some other things, you know, for a digital Welcome to Boston, $70. You're talking about potentially on other campaigns, you're paying for a comic.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
On some campaigns, you don't get much for $70, but for that whole series to be introduced for $70, I mean, that is a great perk level right there.
Yeah.
And that's the one I recommend if especially because I mean, I like physical stuff, to be honest with you.
Yep.
If I can get my hands on it, you know, I like to put my notes in it, and then we do our review video, especially now that we've got the new overhead camera rig and everything. Man, people, I got to tell you, we've leveled up here at Pop XP. So many goodies. So many goodies have come in. It's incredible. It's incredible.
It's 2.0 of the Deets cam.
It's like 4.0, man. We skipped levels on the Deets, man. We're talking 4K quality, incredible. We even have an external monitor. It's incredible.
Deets Cam XP.
Well, Deets Cam XP. We'll do the tour. We'll have to do the tour of the new setup. Pop XP 4.0. That's where we're at. We skipped 2 and 3. We're already at 4.
Right.
And speaking of leveling up, right? We got some creators in the house. We met them with issue 1. We've met them with issue 2. Now they're back with issue 1 and 2 in one campaign, and 3's on the horizon. Everyone, please welcome William Quinton and Alexia Veldhusen. I hope I said that. Did I say that right, Alexia?
She wants to be nice and say no.
I think I said it wrong.
You always got to put me on the spot like that, Frank. Come on.
I'm gonna quick.
No, it's Feldhausen.
Feldhausen.
There you go. That's it.
That's right. My bad.
Niall, when are we going to get your book on how to stream, how to podcast, and how to YouTube? I would love to learn about how your setup works and such. I think that would be amazing.
I can't give away my secrets.
But you could sell them.
I know, right? I don't have too many secrets.
Oh.
No, yeah. You know what though? We do have some stuff in the works. I really have to get Pop XP University. I was like so gun ho with it, right? But then other things came up. So I only have one true how to, and that's how to set up your green screens on 3 different platforms. But you will have it. It won't be a book. It'll be a part of the membership of the Pop XP channel. Will be free courses, and that will be one of the levels. And maybe once a month, I'll do some training on streaming in their software.
That'd be awesome.
Let me know what you think in the comments below, people.
Hey, Lex, do you see what I see behind Niall?
What is it?
Oh, yeah.
What
That's
is
girl
it?
I drew.
Yeah. Right there. Right
you
there.
guys are twins. Look at the. You got
We
the
made the wall. We made the wall.
There. I thought you were talking about me and the squirrel. I'd be like, thanks. I look like a squirrel? Jeez. So, Alexa, we went down to Jersey and we hung out at the Kubert School.
Right.
Yeah.
We filmed, and we have to go back and
you guys.
film again because the footage got screwed up.
Oh, no.
Very shaky.
Yeah, the stabilization and the camera wasn't working properly, so we're like, this is not good.
Seriously, if next time you guys are here, let me know. I live 5 minutes down the street from the school.
Should come hang out. We were hanging out with Anthony.
Yeah.
We're walking around. We hung out in the store.
We tried to find a place to eat.
We tried to find a place to eat.
This is lady who can tell you the best places. There is a Colombian place down there I absolutely love. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well, probably you had to turn right. We went left.
Yeah, I know. We went left. It's probably the other way. It's probably the other way. But hey,
left.
So you guys are, typically we have you on, you guys are doing Kickstarters and you're crushing Kickstarters. But for what you have right now, this is an Indiegogo for issues 1 and 2 of 47 Furious Tales. And I'm going to pop this up here just to jump in because many of our viewers are big Indiegogo fans.
And we're doing this a little weird because, of course, it's kind of our Indiegogo debut. We've actually been fulfilling backer perks as soon as they clear Indiegogo's transaction, and so then basically I'm shipping them that night and sending out the packaging that night, shipping them out the next morning.
Wow.
Oh wow!
So all of our backers are currently fulfilled.
So like you could kind of say you're in your shipping center right now.
I really am. This is right here is just all issue 2.
Mm-hmm.
So we have all those on hand. Issue 1 we have on hand as well, but we've got everything ready to ship, and we're making good time of it. Our very, very first backer was in France, and he got his yesterday. So, I mean, you can't beat that. Get international before the campaign even ends.
Yeah.
And it's only a 21-day campaign. I think we've got 8 days left.
Yeah, no, and well, actually, if you make that goal, you're gonna leave this in demand?
Yeah, we're gonna leave it in demand. I want to learn how the in-demand interface works. We're basically working to expand our readership base. As you know, we funded this line on Kickstarter first. Yeah, Madeleine, thank you. I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm a huge Madeleine Holly-Rosing fan, unabashed fanboy about it. And if you don't have her books, make sure you get them, especially if you're creative. Because I have her book on crowdfunding as well, and I read that after I'd done half a dozen Kickstarters, and it was still very, very useful. It's an incredible resource. I highly recommend it. And actually, I have a review on Amazon that says that, so definitely check that out. Madeleine's amazing.
Nice.
I'll stop gushing.
No problems.
Now tell us about. All right, so we've got we're back on live, right? We're off our hiatus, so we're past that little hump, YouTube. But so for new viewers out there, our traditional live viewers, the viewers that are going to be watching this recorded, let's talk creative team, right? So William, you're the writer, Alexia, you're the artist. Let's talk about, because this is for issues 1 and 2.
Yes,
we need to catch everyone up. Who's not familiar, how did we get to issues 1 and 2? I know issue 3 is in the horizon, correct?
Yes, issue 3 we should have completed before we come to Kickstarter in, I believe, September is if our schedule holds up. If not, it might get pushed into October, but we're shooting for September.
All right, fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about 47 Furious Tales. For anyone that out there is going to back issues 1 and 2, what's the story about? What are they going to get?
This is the story of the 47 Ronin, the story of the Eiko incident of Japanese history. But we're telling the story through the use of anthropomorphic animal characters. So anthropomorphized squirrels, foxes, rabbits, monkeys, things like that. And this is actually built to be a 12-issue limited series. Issue 1 and 2 are done. Issue 3, as you see, is already heard, is in production. And we're not just telling the story like, oh, he dies, skip all the things in the middle, and then get to the siege. We're actually starting the story before Asano even heads to Edo, where his fate basically gets sealed. And so we bring in the element of the conspiracy that was laid against him before he even got to Eiko. And so you'll see that starting to be hinted at in issue 1, start to unfold in issue 2. And with issue 3, it kind of erupts in furious action across the entire issue in issue 3. That's going to be something I think everyone's going to love to see. Alexia has done an absolutely fantastic job of producing these beautiful colored pages with this fantastic style that kind of harkens back in part to like the old Japanese wood prints, and it also has a lot of elements from more modern sources. And as you look through this, you see that a lot of care and attention has been placed to the little fine details in it. And the story is written, when I wrote it, I basically tried to take a page from Akira Kurosawa films and let the action in the book tell a lot of the story and make our actual narrative text be something very substantive. We don't have really wasted text bubbles, and there'll be in places pages, sometimes even 2 pages where it's just the action telling the story. Very much like classics like Yojimbo and some of the other really cool Akira movies.
Oh, awesome. Andrew Wilson just pledged a $20 catch-up. Looks great.
Thank you so much.
Nice. Now one thing too, sorry to interrupt you, but I do want to say for anyone out there that's curious while they're talking, I have copies of the book. This is issue 1 right here.
The original cover, yep.
The original cover, but the quality, again, and I've said this before on past streams when I've had you guys on, the quality of the book, it just feels so good in your hands. I mean, the cover, it's kind of, almost has like a matte finish, but there's like a really softness to this book. It's so soft. And but even the pages and holding it, because it's smaller than your traditional comic book.
Right. It's in a digest size, 6x9,
Yeah.
and that's kind of an homage back to more of the traditional manga sizes, but it also has a practical purpose because once all 12 issues are done, we're going to put this together in a hardbound. And one of the things we're going to do is go to Japan and take it to the shrine where the 47 are interred.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So with each campaign, are you putting a little aside for that trip?
Actually, right now I'm rolling everything into the next campaign to get as much of the work done in advance as possible. The key point being is that we want to optimize the production time, keep Alexia employed, working, eating, that kind of thing, because it's important to pay your artists. And as you and I have spoke
That's
to
good.
before, it's important you pay your artists well, because if you don't pay your artists well, then they're not artists all the time. They're working at the factory or they're delivering for Grubhub or something, and it really stretches out your production time because your artist doesn't have time to be an artist. So with this particular campaign, the goal is really low because everything's already done, everything's already paid for. This is really just about getting it out to a larger audience, earning some extra money to put ahead into issue 3, and introducing people to 47 Furious Tales. Just exciting samurai action, furious sword fights, decapitations. Not a kid's book.
No. Now, Alexia, what's the series for you? Because you're the one that's actually taking these words, that are written down, and you're drafting everything into your head, and you're putting them on paper through sequential art, which is no easy task. I mean, what is it like as far as creating the images that are in these pages?
Well, I took that whole Japanese art style to heart with this particular series because I was already kind of working in that style with a lot of ink wash. So, using a lot of diluted ink and just using these really nice thick brushes and such. So I just had the opportunity to really explore that style a little bit more. So I kind of went a little crazy with it, in a sense that I just wanted to make it all look like it was a really cool Japanese art gallery type of thing. So yeah, I definitely pushed myself on the inks and the inks washes, which is why I have this hybrid workflow going on for this particular comic. Basically, I start off drawing it on the computer, and then I print that out, and then I print it out on very high quality Archer watercolor paper. It's the kind of paper that is created to be able to hold a lot of water. So with that, I'm able to create special effects like bleed effects and all that stuff. That's the cover of the original issue 1 print, the first print one. So again, it's all done with just inks and brushwork. Which takes, you got to have a little bit of confidence to do it, because obviously you cannot Control Z undo your inks. You have to just either fix it or run with it, so it definitely takes a little bit of courage to do it, but I've gotten comfortable enough with the style now that I'm mostly just thinking about, okay, so if I want to make the foreground really dark, how am I going to make the middle ground lighter, and how am I going to make the background the lightest, and all that kind of stuff. I try to play with the design of my value. So it's like, okay, maybe if I make something look really dark in a certain way, it will lead into reading it into the next panel and stuff like that. The kind of stuff that you see in Eduardo Risso's work, for example. I also take a lot after Matteo Scalera and Sean Murphy, and the way that they use inks, and the way that you use a lot of shadows and a lot of black areas, if you will. Yeah. So I try to incorporate all the things that inspire me as an artist.
Yeah, Matteo Scalera's Magic, the Gathering #1 cover is incredible that he did for Boom.
Yeah,
it's insane, absolutely insane.
Everything he does is insane.
Yeah, he's so talented. But no, you are extremely talented yourself, and I mean, you definitely have an amazing future ahead of you in comics. And I love your art style, I really do. I love, I'm really, it's fun too to see, and you see with all artists just how it works with any trade. Actually, I'll say, even if you're a carpenter or something like that, you always get better with time. Yeah. So I'm curious, when this series ends, I want to see how your art evolves, because it will. It may be subtle,
Me
but
too.
you're gonna see that evolution of issue 1 to issue 12, right? Is it 12?
Yep.
Yeah,
Art?
it's 12,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm really curious to see. And are you guys working on anything else, or both? Like, is there anything else going on in the pipeline for either of you?
Oh yes, we've got a lot of stuff cooking at Snowpa Publishing. Working to finish up Death Comes to Glenfollow and get that to our backers. Hope to get that out to final edits this weekend. As far as coming titles, we are releasing a new series we're bringing to Kickstarter in January with myself and Nick Capone. And actually, now that I think about it, I have a promotional image to share with you for that. So awesome. Let me go ahead and grab this. And we will go ahead and grab this file for the promo image that we did for Reign of Ages. Can you see that?
Yeah, it pops that up. Nice.
So Nick Capone is and I are co-developing this particular title line. It's titled Reign of Ages. This is our promotional piece that we've done, which is an homage to the classic Farrah Fawcett poster. Mm-hmm. And we're putting together this. It will be entirely done by the time we launch in January on Kickstarter. We'll be fulfilling in February because, of course, I've got my printer all lined up and everything. That's going to be 28 pages, black and white interior with a full color cover. We have an artist in mind. We just need to make sure that she's confirmed and available, which we hope to have done in the next couple of weeks. And it will be coming out. And then immediately thereafter, Snowpa Publishing will be releasing our first book by someone other than myself. Brian Lee, Cooper School graduate, who basically introduced me to all the other Cooper grads, an old dear friend of mine, is working to complete issue 1 of his title, Necroholic. We'll have that completely done before the Kickstarter. We'll be funding that and distributing that. And then moving into 47 Furious Tales issue 4. The idea being to have every book done, make sure our fulfillment is done immediately after funds clear Kickstarter, and move into further releases as they're in progress. Reign of Ages, when it finishes, it'll be right before the Christmas holidays. So Nick will begin issue 2 as we are launching the Kickstarter campaign for issue 1, and then it will launch subsequent to the completion of the 47 Furious Tales issue 4 Kickstarter. And we'll be bringing titles to Indiegogo subsequent to the completion of the Kickstarter, subsequent to the fulfillment, so that we can make them rapidly available to the Indiegogo audience.
Awesome. And Alexa, do you have anything else going on? Any other books or anything that you're working on, or your own writings, anything?
Yes, both actually. I am working on a collaborative effort together with a bunch of other artists who are working for Snowpa. We're doing a pin-up art book called Dungeons and Dames. Now, Dungeons and Dames is basically, if you can imagine, picture this. Just kidding. I was making a Golden Girl reference.
I actually have a promotional image for that. If you're ready, we're going to be launching that in a couple of weeks.
Well, let me finish the pitch first here, Sam.
All right, finish the pitch and then I'll share it.
So picture this. It's a sexy pin-up book, but with fantasy races. So if you're a D&D fan or any kind of RPG fan, high fantasy stuff, we're going to be doing, sexy classic pin-ups with goblins and tieflings,
elves,
and dwarves and elves and all that stuff. So I'm contributing 4 digitally painted pieces to that, and a bunch of other great artists. Also, a lot of Cubic grads are going to be contributing to that as well. So once we have everything all lined up, all our ducks in a row, we're going to be putting that out on Kickstarter as well. And
that'll also, like I said, that'll be in a couple of weeks when all the last couple of pieces of art are done. And what we're sharing today is a piece by the phenomenal Aisha Ghul, whose name I probably just terribly mangled.
It's pretty good.
All right. How is that?
Oh,
nice. So what are we looking at here, though? What fantasy species is this?
Dark elf drow.
Nice. with the butt crack cleavage.
She's thick. She is thick.
How many pages is that going to be?
I think we're at 50.
Oh wow!
I've got, because every artist is contributing 4 different pieces in their own distinct style, and each one has their artist bio. And if I'm not mistaken, we have 10 people on the team.
Oh, cool.
So
cool. When was this? Wait, when did you say this was going to launch?
In a couple of weeks.
Oh, very cool. Nice.
Yeah.
On Kickstarter, right?
Right. We're going to bring that to Kickstarter. And then that is something that's basically a collaborative effort. So all of the artists, all the creators have an equal share in the proceeds from that project. And so after fulfillment's done, after shipping's done, basically everything that's left gets divided equally between all the contributors. It's a concept Kate came up with to try and actually get some work in for a lot of the creators that I normally deal with, but 2020 was very, very slow. And it was an idea we came up with to try and make sure that we had people working.
Cool. Nice. That was a great idea. And that's awesome. And everyone too, if you can, head on over to Indiegogo. If you're not familiar with this series, 47 Furious Tales, issues 1 and 2 are up on Indiegogo right now. All the levels are great. There's even people in there saying you're not charging enough for this.
Our price points are very, very reasonable. So for example, digital is $2, which is about half of what we charge for our normal retail levels. And that's $2 for issue 1 and 2 combined. 2 print copies are $9 plus shipping, and the shipping varies between domestic and then international. And then you can get all 4 books, which is print copy of issue 1, and this is our second cover because we sold out of the first one. And then all 3 variant covers of issue 2. These do ship bagged and boarded in the Gemini mailer. I mean, Niles, you've seen how I ship.
Oh yeah, nope.
And so that's $16 plus shipping. And the shipping on that in the United States, it comes to about $9. So it's basically a $25 tier, but for four copies. We do have a premium tier, and Niles, I think you'll get a kick out of this. It's all the way down at the bottom. I didn't feature it, but it's our $100 tier, and that actually is the same as the above $16 tier. But it actually has all of the 11 by 17 prints that we produce. So, Niles, I know that
those.
Yes, these are mine. That's why.
I'm just messing.
But we are shipping signed copies too, by the way.
Yeah.
But Niles, you can attest to the weight and heft of these. For those of you who get prints and they're like little flimsy printer paper, these are on 130-pound paper, the same grade that we use for the cover. So I mean, if that tells you how solid these are. And those ship in top loaders. And I absolutely love this piece. This is by Fernando Ruiz.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then this was by Paul Walcott, and all of our other covers are, of course, by the incredible Alexia Veldhusen.
Yeah, no, I love the art style of all this, and Ruiz is great. I mean, yeah, this is a great campaign, guys. It's a great story. They're fun to read in the sense that it's just the story and the art work very well together. Truly does. And I have to say, thanks for reaching back out, letting us know this was up, and getting back on the show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that here in next month maybe we can slide in and show off a little more Dungeons and Dames for you.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, once Dungeons and Dames is up, just email Frank and we'll get you guys on for that. And
Cool.
we can run through if you want to bring a couple creators on who've worked on it. We'll work something out. But thanks again for coming on, and everyone too. Like I said, if it's something you like, back it. Share it if you can. Hit up Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you're using. If you're fellow streamers out there that are watching this live or recording, and you want some great guests to talk about a great book, please invite these two on. 47 Furious Tales, have Alexia on, have William on. They're great creators, passionate about what they do. They're consistent. The work's great. The quality's great. William's great at always making sure I get some product in my hand so that when he does talk about this, I can attest to it and say, no, it really is great. It truly is. I've actually physically held the product, read the product, everything. And it's solid, man. Keep it up.
Thanks,
Keep it
man.
up.
Appreciate
I love
that.
what you're doing. I love your support that you also give our channel, which everyone out there that does. But just while I had you guys on, I wanted to give that shout out to you.
And big shout out to Herrenberg as well, who's been really great to us, helping point us to some new shops and everything as well to get put in stores. So a big shout out for that. Really appreciate it. Thank you, man.
All right. Well, you two have yourselves a great evening. We'll see you on to talk about some of those dames you have coming
Some
up.
dungeon dames.
Some of them dames.
Yes. Some of them are just that thick too. So you gotta take a deep breath and just love the art.
All right, man. Just make sure you're got your rag ready to wipe that sweat off when we're looking at those pictures.
I know I'm getting old. I'm gonna have to do that more often. Right?
Like, man, they're thick.
I know, right?
All right, you two have a great night. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having
Always
us.
appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, man. So we got another awesome creator in the house.
Third.
We're about to trip for a little bit. I think it's time to trip a little bit. Take that tab. Let's just clean up a little bit because we're going down a different road right now. Everyone, please welcome back to the show, Mr. Ted Sikora. Ted,
hey, how's it going?
How you doing, my friend?
I'm great now. Thanks for having me back. Hello, Frank.
Great to have you back on and on with such a. I mean, all your books are so cool. You know, you have such high quality, great stories, great images, some unique stuff, and right now you've got Bloom out there, which is just not like anything else that's out right now, as far as I'm concerned, in the indie scene, especially, and even the mainstream circuit, because this started off right. This started off outside of crowdfunding.
Well, yeah, it was originally supposed to be released in April of last year, and because of the COVID shutdown, actually it was in solicitation in April, and it's supposed to be out in June. And Diamond said, "Hey, you should probably pull this because it's the worst time in maybe comics history to launch a #1 or to solicit a #1." So we pulled it and we waited and decided to do this sort of hybrid where we offer it through Diamond, but we also do a Kickstarter while it's in solicitation. And it's been going all right because we really don't make enough through Diamond, you know, to pay for all the you know, the artwork, the printing, all that. We would just be losing money on every issue without conventions.
Yeah. Which have been scarce, right?
True.
I mean, now they're starting to open back up. Now, do you have any locked in yet? I know some creators that are starting.
Yeah, you know, I just picked up a single day one right here in my hometown of Akron, and I'll be doing Steel City Con in Pittsburgh because I think Dragon Con, you know, I was in Comic Con International, so whenever they do that, I'll be, you know, I'm rolled over into that one.
Yeah.
Any other big ones? I think I was accepted to New York as well, and I think they might be doing that. Are they doing New York?
Yeah.
I just got an email tonight, actually, so I think I got to go through it. But
I was curious about it, and I haven't seen much, but I saw some people talking about New York, like it was going to happen, and I was really shocked that out of every show that was going to happen. You know? Yeah.
Well, I think they'll probably follow suit with whatever, you know, San Diego does and whatnot, because I know they're going to have, you know, it's going on all online again, right?
Yeah.
But then they're going to be doing like a selected event at the time. New York's typically going on too, so that'll be interesting to see, because I think it's limited to like 7,000 people or something, from what I read. Or actually, someone emailed me. I shouldn't say I read it like in an article, but someone emailed me what they were doing. But yeah, no, that's cool that you're getting out there to some of those Dragon Con. I know me and Frank would love to hit up Dragon Con if we can. Again, we were talking about how we leveled up. We got our whole field studio ready to go.
Yeah.
Get some Pop XP booths.
I want to say hey to Heroinberg there. And also, somebody just posted about C2E2. The note I got today from Reed Pop said that was also one that they are now starting to take submissions for Artist Alley. As of a couple hours ago.
And I think because it's in December, you know, it's giving it enough time, you know, for things to get set up. It seems like fall and winter, you know, late summer, that's when, you know, shows are going to happen. From what I've seen.
Thing though, like, I mean, man, I know we have to wear a mask still and do stuff. Even when you get the vaccine, you still have to wear the mask. But, I mean, at a convention though, sometimes with everything going on and talking, I mean, I can't imagine how this is going to work, especially if like the masks are going to be mandatory, because I mean, most people, unless you're a teacher, a doctor, or even like, a food worker, working in the food industries or whatever. I mean, most of us don't have to wear our masks that long, right? Even at work, sometimes like you're allowed to take your mask off if you have your own office, and you shut your door or whatever. But I mean, think about it, like on the floor setup sometimes can be like at 7 a.m. or how early you can get in. And I mean, a mask on for 12 hours or something like that. I mean, that's going to be brutal.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I
don't know. The bridge of my nose can't take it. You see this thing? I don't know. I don't know if it can take it.
It's got to hold his glasses.
It's got to hold my glasses. But anyways, forget about that. Let's talk about Bloom. Let's talk about Bloom, and let's check out this awesome campaign video.
You know what I think? This world right now is the fairy tale. And what's really is on the other side.
Rams, mechanic by day, aspiring comic creator by night, into the woods and tripped. He was bombarded by bizarre and mysterious glyphs that he drew into his sketch pad and onto the body of his muse Regine. And now the journey to mind-bending madness continues.
Where are you going? Can't we just head back to the car?
I said I'm on the other side.
How am I even supposed to get over there? What about all the stuff? Regina!
Bloom, the origin prophet.
Oh, Groovy! Your heart is crawling all over me.
Shit. What is going on? What's going on with
you? All of a sudden, you're a complete dream. Maybe you need another limb to the head.
Bloom, written and created by Ted Sikora, with art by Butch Mappa. You've never experienced a story so astonishing, so far out and away from the beaten path.
Where in the fuck am I?
Blast off with the origin of prophet.
Such a trip, man. It's I just love it. Even just like having that announcer voice in there with the echo, and you're talking like that's so cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, I actually don't have all that echo on it. I have echo in moments, but the whole thing had echo on it just now for some reason. So but it worked because it was thematically it was fine. But I was just like, wow, this is a mega doubling. Quadrupling.
Oh, I thought that was your effect.
No, there's moments of it, just spattered moments, but it was like the whole thing. Anyway, it was fine.
It tripped. It worked. I don't know. It worked for me. I loved it. Yeah, no, but that's great. So tell everyone. Let's talk about it. So let's get the campaign up here. So it's currently you got it currently running on Kickstarter. You've got 13 days to go. You have doubled your goal. Or just about doubled your goal, 207 backers. And now this right here with this video, last time we had you on, we didn't have this image.
Well, no, this is all, we got new covers, so that one's by Marcelo Basile.
Yeah, I love that cover. This right here, that is incredible. I love that.
And there's a review. I think it's the second one. You might want to check that out. Go back up a little bit.
Right
there.
Oh, what an
awesome!
Wow.
That's me. That's me. Old Nile Scallywags. There you go. Nice. It really is. It's awesome, man. But now, for those that are like, okay, this is a psychedelic book. We're heading back. It's an era. It's a hippie book, man. You've got we're heading into the 60s with this, late 60s, early 70s, wherever you want to pin this. Now, like, what inspired this story?
It was such a weird thing, and it was very autobiographical because we have this other comic, Apama, the Undiscovered Animal, and I was actually creating a villain for Apama. And I had this idea based on somebody I met who was showing me their tattoos, and she was explaining how this one gives me strength, this one gives me protection, And it was just set off the light bulb. And I was like, oh, I really like this idea. And growing up in Northeast Ohio, a lot of people used to talk about this sort of Helltown area. And I thought, man, wouldn't it be great? Because our book takes place in Cleveland, that they have a PAMA fight, this cult, the Helltown cult. Who's the leader of the cult? I wanted a woman who had sort of this hippie vibe, and I was really digging the symbols. So I was painting these symbols, I was drawing them on 2-dimensional on paper, and I wasn't quite getting it right. So I decided to get a mannequin, and it was getting closer. But then I was actually shooting an event, because I do video work as well at Cleveland Public Theater. And I met a dancer there who I thought, man, she's kind of got the right vibe for Regina. And I decided to, I asked her if she'd be open to doing a photo shoot, and she was. We couldn't get our schedules together, but in the meantime, I started wondering, well, what would happen if we got out into the woods and something strange happened with her? Because I don't know anything about her, so, or she didn't know anything about me, but, it was sort of, I just let my kind of imagination run with what could supernaturally happen. And this came to me in a real lightning flash. I wrote an entire screenplay about it, and we were shopping that around back in like 2013. So it's been around for quite a while in different forms. But then after we did so many comics, I'm like, well, this is a perfect companion to the Hero Tomorrow comics universe. And it really is the cornerstone piece, because it happens before any of the other stuff.
Yeah, no. And then so last time I had you on the show, and I apologize for names escaping me right now.
Alicia Lynn?
Alicia, yeah. She came on, and you can see here, for the viewers out there, there is her cover right here, Regina's photo cover. So, I mean, she, and if you look at the past campaign videos, they had some scenes and things and stuff that were there. And I mean, she's just incredible. And I do believe also she does some stuff with Heroine Burr.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. She plays Scintilla.
Yes. Yeah. But definitely, seemed like you guys really vibed. Like, it definitely worked. And
amazing photos.
Yeah.
Yeah. She really, I met her at Steel City Con, in fact, because of Heroine Burr. She was there, cosplaying. And, I when I was talking to her, we were set up right across from each other. I showed her Regina because she just had such a vibe for the character. And so, it's there's so much meta going on with this particular book, like muses and comic creators and that kind of thing. So, but she was really open to it. And I think she's very kind of spiritually open-minded, the same way Regina is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what made you decide to do your next campaign with Bloom?
As opposed to one of our other characters, or
yeah.
So I originally wanted to do Bloom as a graphic novel, and there was a point at which we took Tap Dance Killer and Bloom, and I was doing an artist search for both, and with I assumed Bloom was going to be a graphic novel, and we got Butch Mappa to do the art, and I absolutely love his style. Like, he really was the first one I sort of hired out of 200 artists that submitted to both projects. But I really loved the way he did the humanity of these two characters. But as we were doing Tap Dance Killer in single issues, I started to realize the benefit of single issue releases, because we had never really done that before. When we did a PAMA, they came out in trades first. So, I think a store owner that I was talking to made a nice analogy that, if you go straight to the trade, it's kind of like a movie going straight to, Blu-ray or whatever, or, streaming without having their theatrical release. So you kind of miss all those impressions of the single issue. And then we get to make all these fun covers too, and that's Kane and White right there. That's a Virgin variant incentive cover that's available to the shops. But we do a cover bouquet tier where you get all 6 of the covers, all 7 covers actually.
This is great. Now, when does this? So, for anyone out there that's backing, who has backed this book and or is going to be backing this, when do you plan on actually having this in the backers' hands?
June.
Oh, that's
Wow.
that's awesome.
Yeah, this is fast because we gotta match what's going on with the national release. So issue 1, the campaign was just we were on in what, February, right? And those have already been delivered.
Mm-hmm. Oh, feels like it was only yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Feels like it was like only yesterday, really. But yeah, so those were already delivered. That's awesome. I mean, this is great. I mean, how far are we going with this series?
It'll be 4 issues.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got a really fun idea for her going past that, which kind of filling in the stories between this origin and present day and all the stuff that had, and I just being able to jump around in time. That there's a lot of, and plus she's going to be in Apama quite a bit. I mean, she's the main sort of nemesis in that series.
Yeah. Now, for those that are trying to grasp what's going on, like, okay, so she's got all these drawings on her, this and that, but what can she do? What is her power? What is she manipulating? What is she doing?
So, I don't want to give it all away yet because we're just getting into the second issue here, but Regina, the dynamic between Ramsey and Regina is that Ramsey is an atheist. These symbols came to him when he was tripping. He drew them out, but he doesn't really believe anything about them. But Regina believes anything. She's open to anything. So even when she's being painted and he's telling her the story about why this happened and some other dreams that he had, she's seeing so much more into it. And so there's like an idea of collective consciousness. The idea is that, maybe this world we're in isn't even real. And if it's not, then she doesn't have to adhere to its rules. If you have Jesus said, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain, and so like all these things are in Regina, like this sort of, this amazing spiritual faith with connecting to something else that we're really not giving away yet.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, because I mean, there's so much. It's such a, when you read the first issue, right, and when you start to I guess kind of invest in this character, you kind of wonder like, where's it going? And maybe that was more of a personal question for me, but we'll just have to back this one and see where you go with this. But yeah, and I mean, I gotta say, and for everyone out there, I just want you to know, Ted has a bunch of great series, other series out there that he does. Tap Dance Killer, Punchline, Apama. You can get these books through these campaigns. If you want to get familiar with other series he has out there, really don't be a stranger to them. They're really great books. I mean, these are professional quality books, writing, art, distribution, everything. Don't limit yourself to just Bloom. Really explore the tiers. Explore the other books that are in the campaign. Explore the website, and really dive into Ted's universe, because he's got some really incredible books and stories. I still have some I need to explore myself, but from the ones that I have read and that I've seen digital copies and stuff of, I mean, really, it really is great stuff that he's putting out there. And Ted, man, I mean, in my eyes, really, I feel like there's going to be a point where you are going to like blow up, like with the comics, because of how the time you put into your stories, the time you put into the art that goes into it. You're selecting your artists, and you have a good editorial eye, because I have to imagine that you're looking at all these things because you need that final product to be a certain way, to your standard, to your caliber, and your books really do show that. And I haven't really had a chance to tell you that, but I do want to tell you that you've got something out there that is very inspirational to other creators. With what you put out.
I'm honored to hear that. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah. So everyone, please get out there, back Bloom. You're not going to be disappointed. I know it's crazy. It's a little psychedelic, right? It's kind of trippy, but it's awesome. It really is. And this is about escapism. So dive into this and back Bloom. Share it, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Get Ted on your shows, guys and gals, and everyone out there. He's great stuff to talk about. I mean, what is this? What is after Bloom for crowd wise? What is in store for your next campaign?
Are you able to hear me right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you were breaking up there, and I don't know if that was on my end or.
No, it might be my end. Sorry.
No worries. I think you said you were asking about what's after Bloom, after these 4 issues.
Oh, well, what's your next crowdfunding campaign?
Well, it might be Punchline 2. We could also do Apama 12 is done. So it's a little tricky thing that I'm trying to balance right now with releasing things nationally, and keeping to the Diamond schedule, but not doing a Kickstarter every month. But I really feel like we have to do the Kickstarters with anything we release right now to, as I said, to make that, financially sensible. So I want to really make sure we don't lose the chance to get Bloom out this year, all 4 issues. So, that's, done. And then we can move on to, getting Punchline and Apama back in the mix. So there's another character I want to debut too. So I always feel like there's just something that tells me what I should be doing. I feel like there's just something, and I just know, like right now, I know Bloom is the thing. And if I could show this, one of the things you get when you back the physical is a print. It's an art piece that I do, and I sign it, and I'm doing sort of an Andy Warhol homage. So there'll be a set of 4 of these with each issue. So
oh, cool.
Yeah, just a little extra bonus that comes with every physical copy of anything.
Nice,
Wow.
Incredible. Well, Ted, man, thanks for coming back on and chatting with us. And next week, it's definitely happening. We're doing our big Back to Live bash. We're inviting all of our friends on, so I'm hoping you can attend. I just got to lock it down, because every time I get it locked down, Billy's like, I got to do this, fulfillment this, blah, blah, blah. So I hope you can pop on with us and hang out, maybe have a beer or something. We're just going to hang out, chat. We'll talk. We can bring up, we'll obviously plug whatever you want while you're on there. And, enjoy a good night just hanging out with some creators.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, so I'll message you that. I'll let you know exactly. Because I know I think it's going to be Tuesday. We're probably looking at Tuesday or Thursday next week. But I'll let you know the definite day.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you very much for having me on, guys. Thanks for doing this. I enjoyed all the projects that were shown tonight, too. They were really cool.
Yeah, man, they definitely were. We had some great creators tonight. And everyone, if you're enjoying these shows and liking, make sure to click that subscribe button below. And make sure to click that bell. That gives you notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And please, again, if you have time, go into the description of the show. Check out all the links. Go back those campaigns. If you like what you see, back it. If you can, even if maybe it's not really your cup of tea, but you can help share it and keep continuing growing this amazing indie community, creator community. Please share those links. And Ted, Frank, thank you so much. It was a great show tonight. And everyone, we will see you all on the next Crowdfunding Comics. Oh, and tomorrow night, we're live at 9 p.m. with The Week in Pop. We've got Dan Fraga joining us. I got Graham Nolan in the house. And we got some other great guests that are going to be popping in, as well as talking about some fun things. Yeah. So make sure to check that out as well at 9 p.m. tomorrow. So everyone, have yourselves a great night. We'll see you all tomorrow for The Week in Pop. Have a good one, everyone. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on Pop XP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the Pop XP and over on Instagram at the Pop XP. Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you soon.